On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be looking at the Transformers Animated. We're going to be looking at Autobot Arcee. Arcee was one of two figures released specifically and exclusively through Toys R Us. And while I was able to find Cybertron Ratchet, or Cybertron Mode Ratchet, I was convinced that Arcee would never be released, or at least never be found at Toys R Us. And lo and behold, I went in one day and they had not one, but two Arcees. So I guess they're finally hitting retail here in Canada. Once again, poor Canada's usually one of the last places to get stuff. Packaging is the same, although it's got a nice picture of Arcee down below. Picture of Arcee at the side. On the back of the package we have Arcee featured in both the robot mode as well as her alt car mode, her rocket car mode. And read-up says, Arcee has dedicated her life to the power of information. As a teacher, she saw to it that young Autobots all learn the value of the facts and how to tell truth from lies. During the war, she turned her dedication to the truth to carrying data for the Autobot High Command, often from deep behind enemy lines. She will face any danger to defend what is right, no matter what the cost. Galactic powers and abilities, one of the top sword fighters on Cybertron, which I don't really see for Arcee, but okay. Modified to make rocket-powered jumps in car mode, and encrypted memory core is nearly impossible to hack. You can learn more at Transformers.com. The other figures available, we've got Electrostatic Soundwave, Waspinator, and Samurai Prowl. So that's packaging on Arcee. I can tell you, I've really been looking forward to getting this one, and the fact that I finally have her, it feels pretty good. So what we're going to do is we'll open this up and we will have ourselves a look at the Toys R Us exclusive. We'll be looking at Transformers Animated Arcee. Stay tuned, guys. And first, looking at her in her alt car mode, her rocket car mode, we can see that Arcee is an homage, or pays homage, to the original Generation 1 Arcee, although we never received a Generation 1 Arcee. But car mode wise, she is the exact similar in design. Not as pink as the original Arcee. She's more of a, I guess, a darker pink in color. The one thing that her car, though, unlike the original Arcee, her car has these additional fins, which kind of makes her look a little more like Hot Rod than Arcee. The good thing about it, though, is that you can actually take these fins off, and what you've got is a little more accurate, I guess, in design to the original Arcee. I don't know, granted, I don't know if I would ever have her in car mode on display, more likely in robot mode than anything else. If I was to put her in car mode, I might be a little more inclined to leave the fins off, just because she looks too similar to Hot Rod. She rolls really well in car mode. I really like the design. I like the design pattern that they put on the front hood of the car, and as you can see, the Autobot logo there as well. Now, granted, the only problem with taking these fins off is it seems a little more apparent that you can make out her hands at the back of the car, which is not really that big of a deal. On the back is where she actually can house her swords. I don't find they sit in very well. Could be that I just don't have them in the right way. You can take these out. I would be inclined to leave them out as well and just have her in basic car mode. The undersiding is pretty kibble free. Yes, you can make out her waist and whatnot. Her head is right here. But I mean, it's very, you're not going to be looking at the underside of the car too much. I mean, on the top side, she is pretty kibble free aside from the hands. So there's Arcee in car mode. Done really well, executed I think pretty good. and definitely an homage to the Generation 1 design of Arcee. So there she is in car mode. Let's have her transform into robot mode, and we'll look at Arcee in robot mode. And the one thing I really like about Transformers animated figures is the fact that they keep the designs of the figures, for the most part, pretty basic in design. It's not too complex. As you can see, though, once transformed, Arcee is a fantastic looking Transformer. I don't know if I've got the transformation 100% correct. I'm sure somebody's going to say, "Oh, you didn't turn it this way," but at any rate, though, in robot mode, she definitely looks fantastic. Definitely looks as well like her cartoon counterpart. The swords that were positioned at the back of the vehicle, you can put into her hands. I always have problems getting accessories into figures' hands when I'm doing these reviews here. I think that's my one bane, I think, in reviews, is always getting the blasted accessories in. There we go. But swords in hand, I don't know if I would have her displayed with the swords. I don't really ever think of Arcee as a sword-wielding robot. But the option is there if you want to put swords in her hands. If you don't, the option as well is still there. You can put these swords in the top of her shoulders there. Doesn't quite make sense up there either, so I would say you can either put them in her hand or just leave them out altogether. Maybe I'll just do that. Face-wise, she's got the light piping going on there, which is nice. You can really get the light coming through on her eyes. The face is really decent. And I like the fact that even though she is an animated style Transformer, again, in robot mode, similar to vehicle mode, she still pays homage to the original Generation 1 Arcee. Her head can move. Articulation-wise, her head is on a ball joint. It's a little stiff to kind of move her head, and then she's got these shoulders that are kind of obstructions to get your hands in there and move the head. But the head does move, at least up and down, easier than left and right. These shoulders can move quite freely. The elbows are jointed on a ball joint as well. You can rotate the hands. Nothing really in the waist, but I mean, it's a Transformer. What do you expect? The legs can bend back and forth. You can rotate the legs, bend at the knees. You rotate the feet too, but that more so is from transformation. Arcee is a great figure, and I had such a bad feeling that I wasn't going to be able to find her in Canada, but you just wait, just give it enough time, and eventually this stuff does work itself through, and you eventually find these things in stores. If not, you can certainly find her on eBay as well. I think now that the demand is probably not there as much as it was. You probably could find her on eBay for a little cheaper than the $60 to $80 that she originally was going for when she was a lot rare. But Arcee in robot mode delivers just as well as she did in car mode. A great Transformer to pick up. I'm going to give Arcee here a 8. And with that, I'll wrap this up here. Stay tuned for many more toy spots and Transformer reviews to come. And with that, I will wrap this up here, and I will see you guys next time. Later.